Alrighty, so 2.5 minutes of awkward silence has already begun. I imagine some of you guys are probably going to be watching this live stream when it's archived on my YouTube channel, so think it's fair if I only start this off right now, even though at the moment there is currently nobody watching, so I guess just for preference sake, welcome ladies and gentlemen to probably the first TFC thing I've done in couple months. It's been a really long time. Haven't really put out anything since January, like late January, early February. And as some of you guys may or may not know, well, first of all, welcome to probably one of the first, I think the first live stream I've ever done for the Meatloaf Man YouTube channel. And I decided that I wanted to do a live stream today because, you know, as some of you may or may not know, it's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, which is the anniversary of the F.U.N channel. For people who don't know what the F.U.N channel is, if you've been living under a rock, because, I don't know, maybe it could be your first time just joining in. So, the F.U.N channel is basically this collaborative project/network. So what I like to basically call it, not really any other way to describe it, that basically follows the many, adventures of me and my friends as we explore the world of pop culture through podcasts, adventure videos, visiting different conventions, general lifestyle, etc. There's probably a better, more professional definition I can give that, but this is just me, going off and explaining it up front. And, well, first of all, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Ray Nunez, also known as Meatloaf Man, and, this is totally unscripted, so I'm just literally just going off of everything that comes to mind immediately, so do excuse any sort of awkward pauses or any time where I say something awkwardly. It's a human thing. It's something that all of us have to go through at some point and that we develop out of eventually. But, yeah, so, for those of you who are watching Archive, thank you for watching this. I hope you would have made it to the live stream. If not, then, thank you for watching the late upload of this anyway. So, yeah, put some music on while this is happening. Let's get some peaceful mood in here. And see if this plays. Gotta wait for that. See if we can get some more people in here. I think what I'm probably going to do post-upload is just have some timestamps so you guys don't have to sit through all these awkward pauses. So I applaud you if you, for whatever reason, just leave this on in the background somewhere and just watch through all of this. But what I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to share the stream everywhere so people could come in and watch. Because there's literally no one watching at the moment, so... Which is to be expected because as long as the F.U.N channel has been running for 8 whole years now, we don't really have that much of a huge active audience, commenting on all of our stuff. And I appreciate those who do. I'm really grateful, even if I somehow don't respond to any of your guys' comments when you make them. I see them, and I'm highly appreciative of them. I thank you guys, So yeah, having some technical difficulties with the music, but what can you do? I wish to, because I think what I'm trying to do right now is that I'm trying to play this music compilation video that basically, it's, I guess I should say what it is. It's relaxing Pokemon music compilation from user Braxton1264, and it's really good. It's a compilation of Pokemon music from throughout many of the video games, main series, Mystery Dungeon, etc. And this is a good video. I'll probably link it in the description. Uh, Usually keeps me relaxed and focused while I'm doing, say, homework or working on videos, other general stuff. It's good to have on in the background. And the thing is that last time I was on this video, I stopped at a certain point, and YouTube has this thing where it bookmarks the last point where you were at if you're watching a video that's over an hour long. So, unfortunately, when it comes to a TV, it doesn't. I don't think there's an option for me. At least I'm using a Vizio TV in my bedroom to skip all the way to the beginning in just one touch. So, I think what I'm probably gonna do is that I'm gonna go on my tablet and I'm gonna reset the whole thing. So. That way we can start this from the beginning and just have an hour of continuous music running in the background. It's probably the music I'm going to be having on for a majority of the time because I'm not going to play any copyrighted music, obviously. I don't want the stream or the archive of the stream to be taken down for any content ID, automatic notifications that go on in the back. So let me go ahead and try to set the timer of this from the beginning. Make sure the volume's down on that so you guys don't necessarily hear it just yet. And then I'm gonna cheat and broadcast this to the TV so that way it can broadcast from the beginning. Gotta wait for it. Got to wait for it. And here we go. Oh, wait. Error occurred. Let's try this again. I have to wonder if maybe it's because I'm live streaming right now. I think it's still starting from the point where it start from the beginning. Let me stop broadcasting into my TV. And somehow the YouTube app deactivated. I wish I could show you guys what's going on. I technically can, but the thing is that I'm broadcasting this to you guys right now from my iPad, which is like a 2012 model iPad mini. I'm not sure on the specs or anything like that. I'm not a Apple enthusiast. But I realized recently that I can broadcast live streams to YouTube from this iPad, and thankfully, that's how pretty much the stream came into fruition. I just thought, hey, May 5th is around the corner. Why not I do something? Because I haven't really done anything for, I think, the 7th anniversary of the F.U.N channel. Things just kind of got silent in between. I'm like, hey, today's the anniversary. Send out a tweet or something like that. Like, thanks for the support. But I wanted to do more bigger stuff, something like this. So, but let's see, where was it? Oh yeah, so I'm broadcasting this right now, and obviously I've done some test streams before, at least 3 separate times prior. And I've tried flipping the camera around to the other side, which is a thing you could do normally if you're broadcasting on a mobile device to YouTube. Problem is, for whatever reason, every time I try to do that, it exits out of the stream and from the app, and then I have to resume the stream, and that results in a whole technical difficulty doohickey. So I'm just gonna not play around with flipping the camera from the outward size and the inward size, and I'm just going to keep it like this the whole time. That being said, don't expect anything special, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't like a stream that's being powered by OBS. This is like a literally a poor man's unprofessional face cam stream with no gameplay or computer screen footage or anything that I can provide. Sadly, it's just gonna be me the whole time. And I thought that with the purpose of the stream, I could probably just retrospect and think back on the years of, you know, when I got started with the F.U.N channel, when I decided to start doing this whole YouTube thing, and, you know, tell you guys a little history about that, because we do tell you guys some things about our past, but we rarely ever go into it in past videos, so I figured now would be a good time. I thought about doing it for the 10th anniversary, but that's still a while away from now, like 2 years in. I don't know what the future has in store for me until then, and I thought, hey, we're live streaming this, so why not do it live? Let's not reference that. So, just trying to get the music up, and then hopefully we can get some people to tune into this. So hope it starts from the beginning and not from the point. Alright, sweet, we're starting this from the beginning, so yeah, there we go. Now to share this with more people. Inviting some friends over on Discord. Let's hope we get some people. Gonna send out another tweet. Alrighty, that's enough social media sharing for right now, so... Um... I guess, regardless of, people not having to tune in at the moment, I guess I'm just gonna get started anyway, so... Um... So... I guess I'll formally introduce myself again. My name is Ray Nunez. I go by the internet, as Meatloaf Man, and... I think... This probably all started back during early, like the late 2000s, around 2007, 2008. Growing up, I was always a guy that was into animation, acting, and all that. Just the general world of pop culture. I've always just been a huge enthusiast of everything, you know, your typical nerdy geek stuff. And so, um, I forget how old I was back then. Well, it's almost like 10 years ago, so I guess you could say like probably like 10, 11 years old when I first discovered YouTube. The way I discovered it, I don't think I've ever outright said this in a public video before. I think I've told some people in some chats or in real life, but the way that I first discovered YouTube was through, I think this was like 2006. I was young and I was a fan of the Captain Underpants books by Dave Pilkey. For those of you guys who saw the recent movie trailer of Captain Underpants and you were like, you know, what the heck is this thing? Well, for those who don't know what that is a children's book series that has been going on for quite a number of years, and it is quite an interesting one to say the least. And you know, I grew up being a fan of that, and that's kind of the inspiration that got me to doing cartoons and comics, among many other cartoons that I've grown up with, such as the Powerpuff Girls and Hey Arnold and all these other shows that have been on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. And so, you know, they had the website with, like, you know, davepilkey.com, I think it was, and I used to look at some of the videos and flash cartoons that were up on there. Kind of like the early days of Newgrounds, in a way, for, like, some people who are, like, you know, animators, like, say, Kerbifer. So, I decided to, you know, watch some videos on the website from time to time as I was in elementary school. My sister happened upon me while I was on the computer one day, and she saw what I was watching, and she was like, you know, I bet that's probably on YouTube. And that's the first time I ever heard those words, YouTube. Like, what is that? So, my sister takes over the browser, and she types in the URL, and lo and behold, we actually find the videos that I was watching on YouTube itself, and that was my first introduction to the website. And back then, I didn't make an account. I didn't think to, you know, that I would need one or to make one, or that I was interested in, like, whatever this website was, other than the fact that it was full of random videos pertaining to stuff that I liked. And as I got into more stuff around the time, such as Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, I looked up videos on the website that were related to that stuff. And so that's basically what got me into thinking, you know, hey, maybe I should make a YouTube channel so I can just compile all of these videos. Some of the big YouTubers that oh, there's a nice truck outside, I think. Yeah. Alright, so anyways, some of the big YouTubers, well, I wouldn't say they are big, but some of the YouTubers I was into at the time were people like Hack and John and Pokemaster Emo. May the latter rest in peace, because I heard he passed away a couple of years back. But they were really good YouTubers. Hack and John was a guy who did some, I don't know how I can describe it. Basically, if you guys know how you can emulate Game Boy games with Visual Boy Advance, basically there's this whole community where people hack into the ROMs of these Pokemon games. And some people took it upon themselves to make an entire series out of those. Basically, Pokemon fanfiction, but using the game's engine to tell a story. And I found that very interesting, and I was a huge follower of that community back in the day. I think it's still around to this day, so if you look around, you can still see some videos of that. You can still, I think you can still find Hack and John's YouTube channel even, and see the Pokemon Hero series that he did back then. And It was pretty good. I think he did a reboot of it eventually, and yeah, so that's basically what got me into wanting to do, hey, fan fiction, storytelling, and all that. And Pokemaster Emo was one of the YouTubers that I got into that inspired me to start making my own original videos and do vlogs and all that of these topics that I enjoy, such as Pokemon and all these other nerdy video game, tabletop gaming stuff. So I started my YouTube channel in 2007 under the name Meatloaf Man, and fun fact about the username, many people have come to me and wonder, like, why is your channel named the way it is? Why does it have all of these random capitalized numbers and, letters and numbers and symbols and all that? Fun fact, when I was first setting up my YouTube channel, the name Meatloaf Man was originally going to be spelled correctly. Like, it was just going to be straight Meatloafman. But my sister came in literally as I was doing that. You see how my sister just pops in a lot during this story. And she thought it would be cool, because keep in mind this is 2007, and this was when all those edgy memes back in the day were all the rage, like, the elite stuff and everything, like L337 or whatever it is. I don't know. But she thought it would be cool if it was spelled differently. So that's how my name came to be the way it's spelled, with M3 capital ATL0 AFMAN. And that's how it began. And, looking back, I think it kind of gives my channel more of a unique identity, because, who's going to steal a username like that? Like, it's very oddly specific, and, if someone does go out of their way to steal it, then, that's literally dumb. Like, I guess, imitation being the sincerest form of flattery right there. So then I got my YouTube channel started, and I started making videos, I think, in 2008. I had a camera that my dad gifted me for my birthday one year. I believe that's how it happened. And I got together with my friend Raymond. This was back when I was still in elementary school. I think I was in 5th, 6th, 7th grade at the time. And this was before I hit puberty, so my voice was still pretty high-pitched. If you go back and see the very first videos on this YouTube channel, you can see how much of a kid I sound and how immature and unknowing I am of what I'm doing. And some of the first videos that me and Ramon, my friend Ramon Villamar12, if you want to go check out his YouTube channel, he doesn't really do anything anymore, but all his old stuff is still there if you want to go see that. We got together and we thought it would be cool. We started doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Related stuff for, like, our first season, if you want to say. And, so I filmed a video showing off the deck that I had at the time. It was like a warrior type deck. And, Ramon did his own video, eventually, where, he showed off his own elemental hero deck. And then the first, I think, 5 or 6 videos we did for the channel was like a 5-part duel that me and Ramon did with our decks, just to show you guys, how well they would fare in a duel against each other. And, it's funny because, this was back when YouTube still had that 10-minute limit thing. I don't know if any of you guys have been on YouTube long enough to have been part of that era where you had to keep your YouTube videos as short as possible. Like, you couldn't be 11 minutes or anything like that, or YouTube would say it's too long. And I thought originally I would be able to, like, put this all together in one video. Then I discovered the 10-minute limit thing, so I had to, upload each of these part by part. And it's funny too, because you heard earlier how I said that these originally were going to be in 2008. But, they ended up not getting to YouTube until around 2009. What happened with that was that I didn't know how to edit for shit back then. So what happened was that I brought each part into Windows Movie Maker, and I'm not talking about Windows Live Movie Maker, I'm talking about the original 6. Not even 6.0, like 3.0, like the early version on, like, Windows XP and stuff like that. That's how old everything was with my YouTube career. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I thought that you had to upload the Windows Movie Maker project file onto YouTube. I didn't know that I had to actually, render the video into, like, an MP4 or WMV format. So that's the reason why the videos never got up as earlier as they did. So had I known about that way earlier and they had gone up as planned, the F.U.N channel would probably be 9 years old right now. Like all of this probably would have started in 2008, and it probably wouldn't even be May 5th. The reason why the F.U.N channel day every year is on May 5th is because those first couple of videos finally got up onto YouTube on May 5th of 2009. And that was just me just uploading the files directly from my camera instead of just the Windows Movie Maker project files. So, I was like, if you check the description of those, I'm like, yeah, it's finally up. I hope you guys enjoy. Yes! And man, I was excited back then. And it's funny like that how that all took a year, but yeah, they got up, and that's when we finally got the ball rolling on things. I started making videos on our Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. Raymond started to be in a couple more videos, and then Ramon and I moved on with our lives. Unfortunately, I was I had to go to a separate school in 8th grade, so I was no longer seeing Ramon as frequently as I used to. We still hang out, we're still friends with each other right now. We just haven't done anything with each other in a long time, so it was becoming much harder to do videos together. And then I kind of realized that Ramon was slowly becoming less and less interested in doing videos for YouTube, so I decided, just put the whole thing to rest for a while and decide, hey, I still want to do YouTube stuff, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. So, come I think around 2010 or 11, I was in 8th grade and I was in a different school for my final year of middle school, and I go to an acting class that my parents put me in, which is in a totally different school than the one I was currently in, funny enough. I used to go to it every Saturday. And that's where I met Lawrence. For those of you who don't know who Lawrence is my co-host. He's Royal Dude Lorenzo. Go check out his YouTube channel. The dude does a ton of great stuff. He's a really hard worker. He's the reason why that I have, as much success on his YouTube channel. At least I should say it, that we have, because these are videos that we do together, and I owe it to him for all the stuff that we do. And he deserves a lot of the credit for filming and planning out all the stuff and just going through every single one of these situations and adventures. I can't really just do all the stuff alone. I wish he was here right now, but he's alive. He's not dead. He's not dead. He's at Dartmouth right now in I forgot what state it's in. Fuck me. And he'll be back around the summertime so we can do some more videos together. But I'm not sure if he's watching right now. But yeah, go check out Royal Dude Lorenzo's channel. Great guy. And I met him back in acting class when I was in 8th grade, and at first it was hard for us to get the ball rolling with our friendship, but eventually we grew to really like what we did, and became really close partners both in the class, and we started hanging out more often outside of it. And we started doing some more pop culture related events because we realized that we're really into Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and such. And so we did some stuff like video game releases for the Pokemon games, like the Black and White release party. We went to our first Comic-Con together in New York Comic-Con at the Javits Center back in 2011. There's no video for that, unfortunately, because that was back when we didn't think to just hold on 1 minute. I got a message from a friend of mine. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, we started doing events like that, and this was back before we thought, hey, what would be a good idea if we documented our everyday lives at all these pop culture geek conventions. And I think what had happened was I did a whole Meatloaf blog about this a while back. So this was episode 5, me explaining how I became a brony. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can. But basically, the general story of how that happened. This is related to the story, so just bear with me as I explain it. So I became a brony because this girl that I talked to on the internet, that I met on Pokemon Forum, was into it at the time, and I thought, hey, she's kind of around my age, just 3 years younger, but like, why is she into a show like this? I must check it out. So checked out the first 3 episodes on on my TV on this free on demand service that every cable provider has, and checked it out. Thought it was a good, decently written show. I saw a lot of familiar names that I had seen from previous cartoons that I liked, such as the Powerpuff Girls, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and all that. And I got into it. I told her I got into it, and then eventually down the line we had a relationship together, and then I became more and more related into the brony community as a whole, and that's how I'm just look at these posters, guys. I don't think I'm never not going to be part of the herd, but it's been an amazing ride with this whole community and all that. So the reason why I bring that up is because I think BronyCon 2012 was like the first actual like convention. First of all, it was out of state, and me and Lawrence knew we wanted to go do that for a number of reasons. One was because it was BronyCon, it was a reasonable distance nearby us, and we wanted to go check that out. It was probably the biggest event that has ever, that one of the most biggest memorable events that BronyCon has ever done. And Lauren Faust was going to be in it, and Lauren Faust I consider a personal hero right next to her husband Craig McCracken. They're the reasons why I want to grow up and become an animator, and I want to go see her because this is probably one of the only times that she'll ever be in the area because she and Craig live in LA. And, once the next convention that she's going to show up at, in the New York area. So, I convinced my parents. They understood why, I was into the community and all that. They, at least my mom appreciated it. My dad was just fine with it. And, they took us over, and that's the first actual time that we filmed a YouTube video showcasing our day over there. We could only go one day on a Saturday, so that's why if you go back and check out the BronyCon 2012 video, which there'll be a remaster of that video at some point because the original is a bit in low quality and there's some touch-ups I like to make to it, which I'll explain in a video down the line. As you can see, we only did one day at BronyCon over there. And we had a decent time over there, and that video ended up not getting up until, I think, sometime in 2013, so it took a year for that to come out. And that was the first major TFC Adventures video that really, really got the ball rolling on what we discovered that we wanted to do for the channel. That was like, the documentation of the world of pop culture. Why do people come to these events? Why do we celebrate, the magic of all these different franchises and shows? Why do we love them? Why does it attract so many of us? What is our connection to them? We want to document our lives that, as these things happen and show what really go on within these events. I talked about, that briefly, I think, towards the end of New York Comic Con 2014, or not 20, that's not even finished yet, but towards the end of 2013's New York Comic Con's video where I did like a whole, post thoughts on the whole event and explain, why exactly do we do these videos. And that's pretty much why, we want to show people what actually goes on and why we do these events. They're more than just these pop culture nerd events that people make fun of in TV shows and internet memes and all that. There's a whole lot more to it, and really the only way you can see why it goes beyond words, you have to go out and experience it yourself, or alternatively, something that we hope to accomplish, you can watch our videos and, see how that rolls out with, these adventures that we do, and hopefully understand why people go to these events and why they're held yearly, and why there's so many different kinds for so many different franchises, such as, Star Trek and all that. So, unfortunately, with me having like a busy life and all that, it gets harder and harder yearly to, do these kinds of videos because, I have an actual life. I just graduated college with my associates, and right now I'm trying to look for retail work. And, you know, I'm doing a bunch of other stuff and juggling a bunch of other life things, and it gets generally harder and harder to, you know, do all this stuff and, edit. And I don't have the best equipment either. Like, let me show off this computer for a moment. This is my current computer. Forgot the exact name of it, but it's like a Samsung something. This is where all the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, this is the computer I work with. It's not the best kind of computer in the world. It's not professional or anything. It's doesn't have the best specs. So, I do have these programs like Adobe Premiere and all that. I'm slowly learning how to use it. It's a really great editing program. It's a step up from Windows Live Movie Maker. I don't know how hard it is to make free software that does the stuff that you want to do on like a program like that. How hard is it to program, overlays and such on, freeware editing programs? But that's a different topic. But the reason why these videos take so long to come out is because, I have an actual life, and that's why New York Comic Con 2014 isn't finished. I don't think I made a video about this. I talked briefly about it on the Inkling Brothers podcast.